The notion that vaccines make you weak and sick has been a topic of controversy in recent years, particularly among certain Christian communities. While some argue that vaccines are a necessary tool for preventing the spread of diseases, others claim that they can have negative effects on our health and well-being. As a Christian, it is essential to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective, considering both the scientific evidence and biblical principles. Firstly, it is crucial to acknowledge that vaccines have been instrumental in eradicating many deadly diseases such as smallpox and polio. The widespread use of vaccines has saved countless lives and improved public health significantly. However, some Christians argue that vaccines can make us weak and sick due to the presence of toxins such as mercury and formaldehyde, which are used as preservatives in some vaccines. They claim that these toxins can cause a range of health problems, including autism, autoimmune disorders, and allergies. While some studies have suggested a link between vaccines and certain health conditions, the overwhelming scientific consensus is that vaccines are safe and effective. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) and the World Health Organization, who have extensively researched the safety of vaccines and have found no credible evidence to support the claim that vaccines cause significant harm. In fact, the CDC states that the benefits of vaccination far outweigh the risks, and that serious side effects from vaccines are extremely rare. Despite the scientific evidence, some Christians remain skeptical about the safety and efficacy of vaccines. They may argue that trusting in vaccines rather than God's sovereignty over our health is a form of idolatry. Others may believe that the use of vaccines is a form of reliance on human wisdom rather than divine providence. However, this perspective neglects the fact that God has given us the gift of medicine and science to improve our health and well-being. So, what can Christians do about the perceived risks associated with vaccines? Firstly, it is essential to approach this topic with a critical and informed perspective, considering both the scientific evidence and biblical principles. Christians should consult reputable sources, such as the CDC and WHO, to understand the safety and efficacy of vaccines. They should also consult with their healthcare providers to discuss any concerns they may have about vaccines. Secondly, Christians can take steps to support their immune system and overall health, which can help to mitigate any potential risks associated with vaccines. This can include maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and getting adequate sleep. Christians can also prioritize stress management and spiritual well-being, recognizing that our physical health is intricately linked to our emotional and spiritual well-being. Thirdly, Christians can advocate for greater transparency and accountability in the vaccine industry. This can include supporting research into the safety and efficacy of vaccines, as well as advocating for more stringent regulations on the use of toxins in vaccine production. By promoting a culture of accountability and transparency, Christians can help to ensure that vaccines are developed and distributed in a way that prioritizes public health and safety. Finally, Christians can trust in God's sovereignty over our health and well-being, recognizing that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. While vaccines can be a useful tool for preventing the spread of diseases, they are not a substitute for faith and trust in God's providence. By prioritizing our spiritual well-being and trusting in God's goodness, Christians can approach the topic of vaccines with confidence and peace, knowing that our health and well-being are ultimately in God's hands. In conclusion, while some Christians may be concerned about the potential risks associated with vaccines, it is essential to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective. By considering both the scientific evidence and biblical principles, Christians can make informed decisions about their health and well-being. By prioritizing our spiritual well-being, supporting our immune system, and advocating for transparency and accountability in the vaccine industry, Christians can trust in God's sovereignty over our health and well-being, knowing that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit.